This is Support is Sexy, episode 209. Take the hill. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm so happy to have you here because it just would not be the same without you. Now, if you and I are connected on social media, especially on Instagram, you have probably seen a post or two from me about running. I love running, especially running outdoors, and it is a form of not only exercise, but meditation for me. I've also shared some of my recent interesting occurrences with running, thanks to my knee, which is from a childhood injury playing basketball, but I'm very grateful for this knee. It still carries me along, but it shows up a little bit here and there and slows me down a little bit here and there. A little bit of pain in the knee there that we're paying attention to. But overall, distance running is still my thing. I continue to do it. I love it. And while I do shorter runs during the week, for the past 6 weeks or so, I would say at the time of this recording, I've started going to the park near where I live here in Georgia every weekend and doing the beautiful 5.5 mile trail there. It's gorgeous. Along this trail, there are plenty of trees and wildlife and lakes and just everything that you'd want to take in during an outdoor run, right? You're in nature, whether you're listening to music and just looking, or sometimes I take out the earphones and I just listen. It's fantastic. But also along this trail, there are a lot of hills. Long and in some cases steep hills along the way. Now, because this trail is still new to me, I don't know exactly when things are coming, but I know that they're coming. When I used to do other runs before I came to Atlanta, you start to know the route and know when a hill is coming and know when a dip is coming and know when this is coming. You mentally can kind of prepare your mind and your body for it. But on this new trail, oh boy. Does my mind go through all kinds of changes as I start to approach these hills? Of course, I can see them once I'm coming up on them. I don't know exactly where they are, but you go around a certain corner, there it is. Now, notice in that last sentence, I said my mind, not my body. My mind goes through all kinds of changes. Because my body, other than this special knee that I mentioned, is fine as long as I take it slow. But my mind, the mental acrobatics that it goes through to convince me to stop before I get to that hill, and when that hill is in view especially, is remarkable. It's amazing what the mind will do to try to stop you from going after that thing that is difficult if you don't pay attention. So during this weekend's run, as I dug in and ran up one of those mini hills, I started to think about the hills that we all face in our lives and in our businesses, and how many times we may either try to avoid them, give up when we encounter them, or get even halfway to the top and then turn back around. Are you with me? Does that ever happen to you? I know I can't be the only one that relates to this. So on this episode, I wanted to share some words of encouragement with you and a few reasons for you to take the hill in your life and in your business. The first thing is, remember, once you take that first step, you are closer to conquering the hill than you were just a moment ago. Then you take 2 steps, then 3 steps, and so on, with each step closer, closer, and closer. That is progress. And why would you want to give up on that progress? A lot of times we get part way or even halfway, want to give up on everything and turn around and go back as soon as the hill starts to be a challenge. So whatever challenge you're facing in your life, if you've taken 1 step toward that solution, 1 step up that hill, whether you're walking or running or rolling or however you're getting up there, don't give up. You're getting closer to conquering it if you keep going. So keep going. Another thing, those hills ain't going nowhere. So no matter how badly we try to wish them away, hills are a part of life, right? Just like they're a part of my run. So I could choose to find some flat land or go a different route or try to go around them in some way. But why cheat myself out of that experience? In the case of these hills, the best way around it is over it. And remember, just because you didn't take the hill doesn't mean that the hill doesn't exist. It just means that you avoided it. It's still there and it will be there challenging you until you decide to take it. So don't avoid the hills. Go for it. Decide you're going to take it. Get over it in the best way that you can. That is the best way to move beyond it. Tackle it and get over it. The next thing I thought about, prepare yourself before you hit the hill. So prepare yourself for the hills that are bound to come up in your life. You'll likely not know exactly when or what they're going to look like, right? Hills show up in all kinds of ways and in all kinds of people, but you can still prepare yourself. So in my case, for example, I prepare myself as far as running by running regularly and eating food that's good for my body before, after, and in between runs. Even though I slip up once in a while for sure, but no beat ups. Don't beat me up about that. I'm human, right? I also do things like doing research on the best diets and exercises that will make me stronger for runs and reading materials that are relative to running. Now, how can you prep yourself for the hills in your life and business? Think about it. Are you reading materials or watching videos or listening to podcasts that support you and your vision? Are you doing all that you can to remain healthy, keeping in mind that a healthy body and mind isn't just for exercise? Staying mentally well, physically well, spiritually well, it helps you make smarter, clearer decisions. Are you doing things like signing up for courses that will strengthen your knowledge so when you hit the hill, you have some information to rely on? You may not know everything, but at least you'll be prepared in some ways. Are you working with coaches or mentors or other people who can prep you for that moment? There are a lot of ways to prepare for the hill. Again, personally, professionally, business, career, you can prepare yourself so that when you get to those moments on those hills, you can rely on just physical strength, mental strength. You can put it all together because you prepared yourself. Here's another trick that I use personally on those hills. Don't see the hill, see the goal. Whenever I see or feel myself coming on a hill in my run, I try not to focus on the hill. I look instead for a landmark at the top of the hill, whether that's a telephone pole or a tree or a rock or a mark in the road, whatever it is, I focus on reaching that goal and not stopping until I reach that goal. And then I dig. I put my head down, I put one foot in front of the other. I don't get caught gazing at the goal and thinking about how far away it is, because that can happen sometimes when you're just focused on the finish line. You see how far away it is, you see how far up it is, and it might intimidate you. You see it, you have it in your mind's eye, put your head down, dig, and go for it. So for you, in the same way, set a goal and then dig. Don't waste time pondering the goal all day and night. And I know I've done the same thing, especially I have a vivid imagination. I can create a world, I always say, dream about it forever. But if you have a vision, say you have it on your vision board or wherever it is, great. But sitting there and drooling over it isn't going to help you move forward. You've got to take that hill. You have to go out there, put your head down, do the work, and dig. One foot in front of the other. Dig, dig, dig until you reach that goal at the top of the hill. Now, here's the next thing. Set new goals as you go, new goals that are further and further out. So once I make it up the hill, I look down the road and set a new goal. Once I reach that one, I set another one until I reach the finish line, the full distance that I want it to go. So since I'm healing, for example, with my knee and taking it easy on myself, I will say run for a mile, about 10 to 12 minutes, and then I'll walk for 30 seconds. Then I'll run for another mile. But if I am on or near a hill, I go to my landmark at the top of the hill, and then I'll say something like, okay, I'll run to the next goal of whatever it is, that next tree, and then I'll walk 30 seconds. So you give yourself a goal, but then you set another one a little bit further out, another one a little bit further out. For you, when you hit a goal, another one a little further out, another one a little further out. This keeps you motivated and allows you to stay in flow. This is especially important if you have the wind at your back, as they say, if you have momentum. So you're doing something or you've been doing something for a while and it's starting to pick up and starting to seem a little bit easier. And okay, then you encounter a hill. Keep going. Keep that momentum going. Keep putting that goalpost further and further out. That's the time to really keep going when you have momentum. So set another goal for yourself down the road. Each accomplishment builds on the last one. Now, this next one is really important, as we talked about in the beginning. That mind can be really something. It's a powerful thing. Tell your mind, which is really your ego, that you don't need protecting from this, that you are determined to see this through. I don't know about you, but my mind, like I said, is quite powerful. And once it gets scared, it works overtime to get me to stop. Now, some fear is warranted, of course, but fear of the hill is not. In fact, it usually takes me at least 10 minutes or so. I'm not even kidding. This is at least about the first mile for my mind to go through all the reasons I should stop running. Things like, oh, you're tired. You didn't get a lot of sleep last night. You just ran the other day. It's too hot. It's too cold. You don't really like the song that's playing on your iPhone. Stop and change it. You should walk now. Okay, now. Okay, now. You should walk. Okay, now. It goes on, and I just say to myself, nope. We're here, we came out, we're in the park or wherever we are, we're committed, we're doing this. And then I focus on that goal that I mentioned earlier. I tell my mind, be quiet, it's okay. We will not stop until we hit that goal. And eventually the mind quiets down and I guess relinquishes control and just says, well, she ain't stopping. So I'm just going to shut up and listen to whatever's playing or whatever's going on in nature right now. Let me just be quiet because clearly she's going to keep going. Eventually it quiets down. So for you, when your mind starts to go a little crazy as you head up that hill in your business, your life, your career, whatever you're creating, remind yourself that you're okay, that you're prepared for this, that you can do this, that you're there, you showed up, you're committed, and you're seeing this through. Tell your mind that you don't need protecting from this. Instead, you need support to get through this. And the last thing I'll say about taking that hill, remember to celebrate the moments when you make it. Sometimes we make it to the end and it's just like, whoo, that's over. And maybe there's a little bit of that, but also celebrate the moments that you make it, even if it's saying to yourself or saying out loud as I do, I did it. This feels amazing. Thank you. I'm so grateful that I was able to do this challenge and make it through, learn lessons along the way, and I'll do better next time. No matter how long it took me, sometimes I kind of beat myself up, even though that's not allowed here, because I feel like, oh, I'm going so slow. Then I remember you're healing, you're going through this, and even if none of that was going on, I showed up. So for you, remember, you showed up and that's reason to celebrate. You tried, you faced that challenge. You did not cower and back away. You faced that hill. Face it, dig in. They get easier as you go. I promise you. They may not get smaller as you go, but they will get easier because you will have faced others in the past and know that you can do it. And you'll condition yourself to be stronger and smarter each time. And also the benefit of facing these hills is that you'll discover what works for you and what doesn't. And then you make adjustments as you go along. Whatever didn't work, you'll change that next time. Most important, you took the hill and you should be damn proud of that. I am proud of you for facing it and going for it. All right, so thank you so much for listening. You know that I appreciate you. And wherever you're listening, whether you're a newcomer or you've been listening for a while, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Google Play, wherever you're listening, please be sure to subscribe to Support is Sexy. Not only does it help the show, but it also helps me make sure that you don't miss an episode. We are here for you 5 days a week. We make it happen. One of only few podcasts that focus on women entrepreneurs, hosted by a woman, me, and I love to make sure that you do not miss an episode. Great advice, great insight, great resources from the women that I interview from all around the world. So make sure you subscribe right now to Support is Sexy so you don't miss a thing. So thank you so much again for listening. And until next time, take those hills and go out there and create something sexy. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.